Behind the musical genius of Wolfgang Amadeus, Mozart lies a hidden world, symbolic, spiritual, and deeply esoteric universe that influenced not only his work, but the entire history of Western music. Today, we will uncover the secret ties between Mozart, Freemasonry, and the mystical codes hidden in his compositions, especially in his most enigmatic masterpiece, the Magic Flute. Mozart was, without a doubt, a genius ahead of his time. He was a child prodigy, composing his first pieces at the tender age of 5. By 6, he was touring the great courts of Europe, dazzling kings, nobles, and the brightest minds of the Enlightenment with his incredible talent. Imagine this young boy, traveling by horse-drawn carriage across the continent, absorbing everything he saw and heard. He wasn't just playing music, he was connecting with the most influential people of his era, from scientists to philosophers. This constant exposure to new ideas shaped his worldview profoundly. He became fascinated with the core principles of the Enlightenment: reason, individual freedom, and the dream of a universal brotherhood of man. However, Mozart's idealistic vision clashed harshly with the rigid social structure of absolutist Austria. He was a man who believed in merit and spirit, yet he was constantly reminded of his place as a mere court musician, subject to the whims of aristocratic patrons. This inner conflict between his soaring ideals and the frustrating reality of his life would fuel his creative fire and eventually lead him down a path of secret societies and hidden knowledge. To understand Mozart's journey, we first need to understand the world of Freemasonry in Enlightenment Europe. Far from the modern conspiracy theories, 18th century Masonic lodges were vibrant hubs of intellectual and social progress. They were like secret think tanks, bringing together the most forward-thinking artists, scientists, and politicians of the day. In an age of strict monarchy and church control, these lodges offered a rare space where men could freely discuss radical ideas like democracy, science, and religious tolerance. Freemasonry became a powerful underground network that connected influential figures across national borders, united by a common set of values. Their symbolism is rich and fascinating, the square and compass representing morality and reason, the all-seeing eye symbolizing divine watchfulness, and the two pillars of the temple, Boaz and Jachin, marking the entrance to sacred knowledge. Their core tenets were liberty, equality, and fraternity, the very same ideals that would soon ignite the French and American revolutions. For a man like Mozart, who longed for a world based on reason and brotherhood, Freemasonry was an irresistible beacon of light. In 1784, Mozart officially joined this secret world. He was initiated into the Viennese lodge named Zur Wohltätigkeit, which translates to beneficence. It was a perfect fit. Within the lodge, he found not just intellectual stimulation, but also a genuine sense of belonging. He formed strong bonds with influential members, including the brilliant scientist Ignaz von Bornin, most importantly, Emanuel Schikanederan, actor, director, and librettist, who would become his close collaborator on the Magic Flute. Freemasonry offered Mozart more than just friendship. It provided protection, a network for commissions, and a deep well of philosophical and spiritual inspiration. He wasn't just a member, he was a passionate believer. The principles of the craft, the journey from darkness to light, the pursuit of wisdom, and the taming of the self became deeply intertwined with his own artistic identity. He finally found a community that valued him not for his social rank, but for his talent and his spirit. This newfound spiritual home immediately began to influence his music. Mozart composed at least 30 works directly inspired by or intended for Masonic ceremonies. These aren't just minor pieces, they're some of his most profound and moving compositions. Take the Masonic funeral music KV 477. It's a hauntingly beautiful work that uses specific woodwind instruments, like the basset horn, to create a solemn, otherworldly atmosphere, guiding the soul on its final journey. He also wrote cantatas and hymns for initiation rituals, with each note and chord progression designed to have a symbolic meaning. Certain musical elements appear again and again in his Masonic works. He frequently used the key of E-flat major, which, with its 3 flats in the key signature, held special significance. The number 3 is fundamental in Freemasonry, representing the 3 degrees of initiation: entered apprentice, fellowcraft, and master mason. You can hear this everywhere in his music and rhythmic patterns. in chord structures and in the repetition of musical phrases 3 times. These compositions weren't just background music. They were an integral part of the Masonic ritual, designed to elevate the spirit and guide the initiate on their symbolic ascent from ignorance to enlightenment. Nowhere is this Masonic code more brilliantly and elaborately woven than in his final opera, the Magic Flute. On the surface, it's a fairy tale about a prince rescuing a princess. But beneath that veneer lies a profound allegorical manual of Masonic initiation. The opera is not just a story, it is a symbolic map of the human soul's journey toward wisdom. Each character represents a powerful archetype. The hero, Prince Tamino, is the seeker of truth, the brave apprentice who must undergo trials to prove his worth. Princess Pamina is not a damsel in distress. She represents pure, innate wisdom, the feminine principle that must be integrated for true enlightenment. Sarastro, the high priest of the Temple of Wisdom, is the enlightened master mason, the guide who presides over the trials and embodies reason and light. And his adversary, the dazzling and terrifying Queen of the Night, represents the forces of ignorance, superstition, and vengeance, the darkness that the initiate must overcome. The entire opera is saturated with Masonic symbolism. The story begins in darkness and moves toward the light of Sarastro's temple. Tamino faces trials by water and fire, classic rites of purification. The number 3 is everywhere: 3 ladies, 3 spirits, 3 temples, and the famous 3 chords that open the overture. The Magic Flute itself is a symbol of art and harmony, the tool that helps guide the initiate through chaos and protect him from evil. The Magic Flute was Mozart's grand statement, a bold and public celebration of his Masonic ideals, performed for all of Vienna to see. Just 2 months after the Magic Flute premiered, Mozart died at the tragically young age of 35. His sudden death has fueled centuries of speculation and myth. Legends immediately sprang up. Was he poisoned by a rival composer, like Antonio Salieri? Was it an act of revenge by a jealous husband? Or, more tantalizingly, was he silenced by his own Masonic brothers for revealing too many of their secrets in the Magic Flute? This last theory has been particularly persistent. Some believe that by putting the sacred rites of the lodge on a public stage, Mozart had betrayed his oath of secrecy, and the punishment was death. While these conspiracies make for a great story, the historical reality is likely far more mundane. Based on letters and medical documents from the time, most historians now believe Mozart died from a severe illness, likely acute rheumatic fever, which he had suffered from since childhood. His final weeks were a flurry of creative activity, working feverishly on his requiem, not the actions of a man who feared for his life. The myth of his murder, however, adds another layer of mystique to his already legendary life. More than just a brilliant composer, Mozart was a messenger of light. He was an artist who believed deeply in the power of music to elevate the human spirit and transmit timeless values of wisdom, reason, and brotherhood. He encoded these beliefs into his work, leaving behind a legacy that continues to fascinate and inspire us. His Masonic music, and especially the Magic Flute, is a testament to his vision of a better world. The codes remain alive in his compositions, waiting to be deciphered by those who dare to listen beyond the surface and walk the path from darkness into light. If you enjoyed this journey into the hidden world of Mozart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We'll continue to explore the great mysteries of history, music, and esotericism together. Thanks for watching.